Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back online with the Hamburg Mobile Summit Live, and we are ready for our next session. You know, it's when somebody starts their business, they try to survive very often. But, you know, when the survival part is over, then everybody wants to grow. And that's the topic for our next discussion. Let's welcome our speakers, Thomas and Emre. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hello, really good. What about you?
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really good. You know, it's great to see so many people, maybe not in real life, but at least like that, not bad. So we're gonna start as we agreed. Thomas will start the first, and then Emre will share his wisdom. So guys, now it's your turn. We're ready.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. So hello, everyone. I'm really grateful to be here today on stage. Probably I should call it a virtual stage given the setting. I'm really happy to be running you through this presentation about key growth foundations for the emerging game developer in EMEA. I'm really happy about this topic. I love this kind of presentation because it gives me a bit of a break from actually selling MoPub and rather be discussing a bit more broader topics with you all. For the ones that don't know me, my name's Thomas. I'm a senior business development manager at MoPub. I've been at MoPub for around 3 years, and my job is to essentially work with any new customers that we try and onboard or any customer that reaches out to us to join our platform. And for the ones that aren't familiar with MoPub, MoPub is a Twitter company. It is an ad monetization platform for mobile publishers and developers. So before diving straight into the presentation, I wanted to give everyone a bit of an overview of today's agenda. We're going to be covering 4 main areas. The first one is going to be around stats on the key emerging EMEA markets. We're then going to look into what developers should look for. And then we're going to have an amazing guest join the presentation, which is Emre Tas, CEO and co-founder of Elictus, to share his perspective and his thoughts. And then we will have key takeaways. And if we have time, we're also going to answer some questions at the end. So if you do have some questions, please drop them in the chatter box during the presentation, and we will do our best to answer them at the end of the presentation. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to us, and we will get back to you on other channels. So I thought I'd start this presentation with sharing some stats on emerging key EMEA markets that we observed at MoPub. And the reason why I wanted to share these stats is because the numbers I'm going to show you are going to come from the markets where we've seen the most emerging publishers come from. So if you look at the slide, you'll see that there are 3 main markets that I've highlighted on the screen, which are Turkey, Russia, and Israel. And over the past 3 years in EMEA, we've seen the strongest growth from these 3 markets. These 3 countries alone represent 24% of all impressions served on MoPub over the past 3 years. So very impressive number, very impressive growth, and a lot of great publishers coming out of these markets over the past 3 years. And if you think this is an impressive number, wait until my next slide because it's even more impressive. So yes, you're reading it right. That number is 571%. And these 3 markets have grown their impression count on MoPub by 571% over the past 3 years. So I would say it's pretty safe to say that Turkey, Russia, and Israel are growing at arguably the fastest rate of any other countries in the world in terms of growth publishers. So if you are from any of these countries, or if you are from any other country, we'd be happy to know where you guys are logging in from. So feel free to drop it in the chatter box, just to get an idea of who's logged into this presentation. So now we've touched on a few stats. I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into what emerging publishers in these regions have done in order to achieve this growth and share a bit of insights. And I think that the first thing that growth publishers should focus on is leveraging data for strong performing mediation from the start. And the first thing that comes to my mind is that publishers should have an opt-out growth mindset. So as we all know, while the industry is moving towards an in-app bidding world, the waterfall management still remains a big part of the ad monetization teams. mediation platforms should be helping publishers scale their business, and they should be supporting the advertising teams in order to increase the game ARPDAU and the app ARPDAU and LTV. Publishers should have an ARPDAU growth mindset, meaning that they should be testing. They should really focus on ad network management, testing different networks, making sure that they're working with the correct networks for their audience, adjusting pricing accordingly, and very important, country targeting to make sure that they can tailor their monetization strategy to their apps and to their audience. So the goal of constant testing and optimization essentially is to drive performance and ARPDAU. So really, really important. The second thing I wanted to discuss within this section in order to achieve successful growth is around streamlined experiences that create a clearer path to stronger revenues. And one of the key elements that I find are really useful for a successful monetization is the efficacy of the waterfall. And as I just mentioned, we all know the industry has evolved a lot over the past couple of years around this topic, where we've moved from a traditional waterfall, which, as we know, essentially fails to capture 100% of the value for publishers. It has outdated CPMs a lot of the times. It can create high latency by cascading down the waterfall. And obviously, it's really cumbersome to manage. It takes a lot of work and a lot of resources to make sure that you have a right traditional waterfall. So obviously, the industry has moved towards in-app bidding, which I personally believe is a really, really great step towards improving publishers' work lifestyle, but also improving efficacy and increasing revenue. So essentially, it's designed to help more efficiently monetize inventory. It replaces the traditional waterfall with a real-time bidding auction from networks and DSPs. I wanted to highlight a few benefits of working with in-app bidding solutions. And I think it's really, really obvious to understand that you obviously move from historical to real-time pricing. So essentially, you're increasing auction efficiency. You're simplifying the setup because you're moving from a top to bottom waterfall to a more of a flat structure. So easier to set up and easier to manage. So you're improving operational efficiency. Instead of cascading down the waterfall, you're reducing latency, right? Because everyone is bidding at the same time for the same impression. And without saying, obviously, but by doing this, by allowing everyone to bid for the same impression, you increase competition per impression, so drive up yield. I think another really, really important part, and ideally is what I think all publishers should do, is around A/B testing. A/B testing essentially allow you to split your users and inventory into different cohorts, different ad units, and it's really useful so you can track your results and you can build a successful monetization strategy and make sure that the monetization strategy you're building and you're testing is successful for your apps and for your audience and for the countries you're working in. So really important to test, really important to gather data from testing and use it to build a successful monetization strategy and waterfall. And this leads me to my third point within this section, which is around insights that help you better understand and take action on your business. Ooh. My last point is around impression level revenue data, which I believe is crucial nowadays to manage an ad monetization strategy. Impression level revenue data essentially provides user monetization metrics in real time on the device. And as you can imagine, these metrics and this data is crucial to mobile in-app publishers, regardless of their monetization model, right? Simply dividing the total revenue generated by your users on a specific ad placement by the number of users that engage with that ad will result in users being assigned the same average value, which is not ideal, as you can imagine. Using average values can lead to inaccurate representation of the user's ad revenue, and it can make it for a poor foundation for any ads LTV calculation. whilst impression level revenue data instead allows a developer to understand their own ads LTV for the users and could be combined when possible, obviously, to an IAP counter to understand the total user LTV. And I believe that having access to this data and leveraging it in the right way is crucial to understand the performance of your audience on the device. So if you can, really leverage this data, ingest it, and make sure that you leverage it to build a successful monetization strategy. So enough from me at this stage. I've spoken enough, and I thought there would be no better way to understand what I just said than hear from Alictus and Emre. Alictus has been a publisher on MoPub that has grown massively. They have done a really, really great job designing and building a great growth strategy. They've done a great job in managing all their ad monetization projects. And so I thought there would be really no better person than Emre to give you his point of view around this, to share his story, and to give you some insights on how he built a successful company. So Emre, stage is all yours. Well, the virtual stage is all yours. And looking forward to hearing your part.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you for the great introduction. I mean, you've done a great presentation so far. I hope I can keep it up with you. Hello, everyone. I'm Emre. Before to start, I will tell you a bit of our story at Alictus, how we are operating at scale with the right technology and the culture. Then I will briefly share my perspective on an upcoming risk in the further development of Turkish ecosystem. So as a company, we are in mobile gaming business profitably since 2016. And then we started to focus our efforts to the hyper casual in the beginning of 2019. And probably it was the best thing happened to the growth of the company. Since then, we are doubling our revenues every year. And it's very likely that we will double or even triple our revenues by the end of this year. And just in the last 6 months, we launched 3 titles reaching #1 position in terms of downloads and in terms of downloads in the United States. And what we do differently is that unlike the majority of the hyper-casual companies in this space, we develop all of our games internally, and then we self-publish them. And that is exactly why using the right technology and also developing the internal technology is very crucial, very important to us. So in 2019, when we were entering the hyper-casual space, after making an extensive research, we had concluded the best mediation solution in the market for our needs was MoPub. Luckily, today it stays that way, even after 2.5 years. And looking from today's classes, there are 4 important features of MoPub that we value a lot. And all of those combined enables Alictus to run its growth operations very effectively and also with a very lean operations team. And even more importantly, APIs, extensions, and then the fact that the core SDKs being open source help our company to build cutting-edge internal technologies. And let me tell you a bit about our internal technologies. So thanks to all of those available features, we were able to build our internal BI and graph platform, giving us the true actionable insights all the time. ROAS optimizer working flawlessly for all networks, not just one network or another, but for all. And it is working even after the post-IDFA landscape. I know this is a huge topic, so let me pass it for now. And then segmented ad experiences so that we can show the right ad to the right player at the right time. So this is very crucial as well. And of course, a lot of workflow automation tools. We were able to build all of those. Advanced bidding is nice, I know that, but removing operations work, and it removes operations works very heavily, but there are still cases where using traditional waterfall might yield better results today. And we have built tools such that operating traditional waterfalls is not anymore a headache as well. So combining advanced biddings, sophistication, and or internal tech sophistication for traditional waterfalls, we were able to build on very large scale. So using the best mediation solution, in our case, it has been MoPub so far, and building the internal cutting-edge technologies enabled us to keep growing in this hyper-casual scene. And this is how our revenues look like quarter over quarter. And as we keep developing and improving our internal tech, we yield higher and higher profit margins almost every quarter. And all of those efforts help us to reach a comparable scale to other hyper-casual publishers. In the last quarter, according to Sensor Tower, we are one of the top 10 hyper-casual publishers in terms of United States downloads. And we are the only one developing all of our games internally. So this is something very unique to us. And this is all happening with a very lean team of 31 people today at Alictus. And we believe we have somewhat different creation atmosphere at Alictus, a different culture of production. And hence the value created per team size is absolutely better than our peers. I mean, I can talk about Alictus forever, but let me stop it for now and tell you a bit of hyper-casual in Turkey. This is a snapshot from a day in March. All those games highlighted here are made by talent located in Turkey. We live such days more often than ever today, and I'm very proud about it. You can see such snapshots every now and then today. And I believe hyper-casual is particularly important for an emerging ecosystem like Turkey. And this is why I wanted to zoom in to share my perspective for this landscape in the next slide. So with the attention of publishers globally to the Turkish ecosystem, more and more studios are being formed every day, and we see a great talent flux coming into the mobile gaming industry from other industries. And in parallel, we see greater accomplishments, and those are all great news. However, if we just have an eye on success, we might be mistaken. This is a huge inflation. There's a huge inflation in studios working in hyper-casual development for more than a year, and they cannot deliver successful results. 1 year may sound like nothing in any other genre, but for hyper-casual, this is very extreme. And to be honest, this is bad for the growth of talent in these studios. And we started to also observe copycat developments more than ever. This is also bad. We even started to hear rumors from talents working with publishers such that they're asked to copy certain products from other teams, even happening in same developer network for certain publishers. And those are like bad and ugly stuff happening in the ecosystem. But even more importantly, the country has started to be perceived as a low-cost development powerhouse, and talent is not incentivized adequately. So today's risk is that the high potential talent might be stuck in low-performing teams, and talent development at personal level might slow down, and ultimately, ecosystem might lose momentum. So I particularly believe that hyper-casual development is very important for an emerging ecosystem like Turkey, where lots of raw talent with unlocked potentials is there, but they need to be in the right team and the right system. Hyper-casual development cycles and feedback loops are so rapid that game creators, not just the developers, not just the designers, product managers, everyone in this system can easily have a jump start early in their careers and within the right setting. But risk is still there for the ecosystem. At Alictus, we are committed to do our fair share to fix it. Recently, we handed out $600,000 in bonuses to our team of 30 people for reaching our 12-month goals. We will double down in hyper-casual next 12 months as well and bring more talent to create more frequent success. And we truly believe that being a part of Alictus culture makes a difference. And we are doing our best to share our expertise and experience with the community. So overall, Turkey is in great momentum. As in any emerging ecosystem, there are obviously challenges. Tech challenge can be solved with great solutions available in the market. I talked about our reasons to choose MoPub years ago. On the other hand, challenge towards talent development is still there, still present, and I hope we will be the part of the solution. So everyone, that's all from me. And thank you for listening, and we can get back to Thomas for a closure now.
Yeah, guys, now thank you for your presentations and for your slides. And now we have some time for you to have a discussion. So please go ahead.
Amazing. I just wanted to close off the presentation with a few takeaways for everyone to go away with. And I think I wanted to leave people with four main things. The first one is around after growth mindset. So make sure that your team has it. Make sure that the platforms that you're going to choose to work with also have it. So work on making sure that you work with people that are like-minded. The second part is around testing and innovating. Be open to innovation and work with companies that also have in their interest to innovate for your benefit, for publishers' benefit. And then leverage data. Leverage as much data as possible. Get access to as much data as possible. Push for transparency and for the precision of data. Once you have access to this data, use it to inform your decisions and strategy. And the fourth part is about knowledge sharing. So you want to surround yourself by people that can complete your strategy and complete your knowledge. People have a great power, as you've heard from Emre. Make sure you hire smart people. We work with partners that have smart teams that can educate you, that can help share your knowledge, and vice versa. And especially when it comes to the monetization side and ad mediation, try to work with companies that act as an extension of your monetization team. You want to make sure that the monetization platforms that you work with are doing all that they can in their interest to help your overall ad monetization strategy and revenue. So if there was four things that I would like people to go away with, it would be this four. I'm super open for any questions if we have any in the chat. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to if you reach out or if you want to connect with me via any social media or email. Yeah, more than happy to answer any question, and I'm sure Emre is as well.
Yeah, we don't have any questions in the chat right now. Perhaps people are a little bit shy, but if you guys would like to discuss something, we have time for that. Or we can move it to the chat and discuss something in writing. Just let us know what you prefer.
I just wanted to ask Emre a quick question about what the future plans hold for Alictus. Where do you see Alictus going in the coming years?
Thank you, Thomas, for asking. So what we think is that I see most of other companies are going away from developing hyper-casual right now, but we are doubling down in hyper-casual in the next 12 months, obviously, because we think that although there are lots of changes in the market, like the IDFA and then the Google thing is coming, there are still lots of opportunities for growth. And I think we are in the right setup, the right culture, right tech to seize all those opportunities.
Amazing stuff. Personally, I've been really, really impressed with the growth of your company. You guys have done a great job, both building your internal tools, as you mentioned earlier, and making sure that you were set up for success on your side, but also making sure that you were leveraging everything that your partners could give you access to, and leveraging in the right way to build a successful monetization strategy. So I think that at this stage, it's everything from our side. Again, if you found this interesting and you have any question and you would like to reach out to either me or Emre, feel free to connect after the presentation. We'll be happy to get back to you.
Actually, we got no. Actually, we got two questions. Finally, people started to wake up, and so I'm going to ask both of them, and you decide like who's better to answer. So the first one is from Amichai Zuns. How do you monitor traffic to ensure the quality? It's the first question, and the second is from Hachi Ahmed Kuratan. Do you see any new genres coming? That's a broader question, maybe for both of you.
Maybe you can pick the first one, Thomas, and then
yes.
I can.
Yeah, the first one is about how you monitor traffic to ensure the quality.
Yeah, so there are various ways to do this. I think specifically when working with MoPub, obviously I'm going to speak for MoPub because I work there, and I'm not going to speak for anyone else. There are different things that we can do. We take things very, very seriously when it comes to ad quality and safety. We're obviously part of Twitter, which is a public company, and this adds an even stricter layer to the type of and to the quality of the ads that get delivered through our platform. There are various filters in place and tools that we can leverage. We give you access to all the data that you need to see who's delivering ads on what placement, what creatives are being delivered, in what region, to what users. So from our point of view, this is a topic that we take very, very seriously. We understand the impact that advertising has on your users and all the hard work that publishers and developers do to make sure that the ads are a part of the experience of a game. And so it would be a real pity to go and ruin this with poor creatives and poor quality ads. And so we take this very, very seriously. On MoPub, as I mentioned, you have all the tools to monitor this, and you have all the tools to block and filter anything that is unwanted and anything you don't want to display on your game.
And for the second question, I can jump in. So if there's any new genres are on the way. So the way I see is that, yes, obviously, there's always an innovation in the market. And what I think is that the innovation is heavily happening in the hyper-casual teams, because we are in the rapid creation atmosphere. We are testing lots of different ideas. And sometimes you end up with trying very unique ideas and finding that this can open up a new dimension. And this is what happened to Alictus a year ago, to be honest. For the last 12 months, we have been producing more and more mini-game structure type of games, and this is very fun success. And I see there are other publishers are finding their own unique genre. Sometimes it's a simulation, sometimes it's arcade, sometimes it's puzzle within the hyper-casual space, and then they keep innovating in that area. So, and I think right now we are in the inflection point in the hyper-casual space. All these learnings that we had for the last 2.5 years, or maybe 4 years, even for the ones who are older than us in the space, it may be time to actually use these learnings and try something different in other business models, not just in the hyper-casual.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you very much. Now that's it for the questions. And thank you so much for such insightful talks and presentations. It was a pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julia. Pleasure to attend the event and to be part of this amazing organization.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great day.